In the peaceful African village of Aam, where traditions ran deep and trust was sacred, a young teacher named Mr. Dami arrived with a noble mission, or so it seemed. Hailing from the big town of Ibukun, he was charming, intelligent, and had a way with words that could melt even the sternest hearts. When the government learned that many young girls in AAM were dropping out of school due to early pregnancies, they knew they needed someone special to educate them about their bodies, protection, and the dangers of unwanted pregnancies. The villagers welcomed Mr. Dami with open arms, believing he would protect their daughters from the fate that had trapped so many before them. Under the great Ioko tree, Baba Aani, the village elder, spoke with reverence. "Teacher Dami, you have come to save our daughters. They are like flowers in a storm, and we need you to shield them." Dami nodded solemnly. "I am here to guide them, to teach them how to avoid mistakes that will close the doors to their future. They will learn to stay safe, to choose wisely, and to value their education above all." The parents sighed with relief. They had seen too many dreams crumble. With Dami here, things would change. But what no one noticed was the glint in his eyes, the flicker of a hidden agenda beneath his warm smile. Mr. Dami quickly became the talk of the village. Unlike the strict teachers before him, he was patient and engaging. He spoke to the girls gently, never raising his voice. His lessons felt like stories, each word holding their attention like magic. Under the big mango tree, the girls gathered eagerly to learn. "A condom," Dami explained one day, holding one up, "is a shield. It protects you from the consequences of carelessness." His voice was calm but firm, and the girls absorbed every word. "Your education is your future," he told them. "Do not let anything or anyone take it away from you." From a distance, parents marveled. "This teacher is a blessing," they whispered. "Look how he opens their eyes." But admiration was not one-sided. The girls, too, looked at Dami differently. His charm, his kindness, it stirred feelings they didn't fully understand. They trusted him completely, unaware that beneath the shepherd's cloak lay a wolf. At first, Dami's gestures seemed harmless, a hand on the shoulder, a warm compliment. "You're very smart," he would say, smiling. "One day, you'll go far." His words made them blush. His attention felt special. But soon, his intentions grew darker. One afternoon, after a lesson on the dangers of unprotected intercourse, he clapped his hands. "Now that you've listened well," he said, "let's go beyond words. Learning is best with practice, isn't it?" The girls exchanged confused glances. "Don't worry," he assured them. "This is to help you understand, so you can protect yourselves." One by one, he called them into the small room behind the classroom. The first girl hesitated but didn't question him. He was their teacher, after all. Behind closed doors, his voice softened. "Don't be shy," he coaxed. "This is for your benefit." He guided the girl through what he called a practical lesson, leading her into something she didn't fully comprehend. By the time she left the room, her face was blank, her steps unsteady. "What happened?" the other girls asked. She said nothing. Dami had warned her. What happens in this room must stay in this room. One by one, the pattern continued. Each girl thought she was the only one. Shame sealed their lips. Dami's charm and authority silenced them, like a hunter trapping his prey without making a sound. But unknown to him, someone was watching. The troublemaker's discovery. Marco, the village troublemaker, had noticed something strange. Girls entered the classroom one by one, their expressions changing when they left. "What's going on?" he wondered, his sharp mind piecing things together. Hiding outside the classroom, he peered through a crack in the wall. What he saw made his heart race, not with fear, but with opportunity. That evening, as Dami walked home, Marco stepped out from behind a tree. Teacher Dami," he smirked. "You've been very busy, haven't you?" Dami froze. "What do you mean?"
Marco Chakel.
"Oh, nothing much. Just that I saw you today with the girls. Very interesting lessons you're giving." Dami's face drained of color. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, but I do." Marco folded his arms. "But don't worry, I know how to keep a secret for a price." Dami's heart pounded. What do you want? Marco leaned in. Simple. When you're done with the girls, send them my way. Dami hesitated, but he had no choice.
Fine.
But keep your mouth shut. And so, the twisted partnership began. Dami thought his secrets were safe. But the truth has a way of slipping through the cracks. It started with Aani, one of the brightest girls in the village. After a private lesson, she began feeling sick. Maybe it's the MI8, she told herself. But the sickness didn't go away. She grew tired, her appetite vanished. Meanwhile, other mothers began noticing changes in their daughters: vomiting, swollen bellies, nervous glances. One evening, the elders gathered the girls under the mango tree. Speak, Baba, Aani commanded. What is troubling you? Silence. Fear held them captive. Then, Aani broke down. It was Mr. Dami, she whispered. He said it was to help us, but it wasn't true. A gasp rippled through the crowd. One by one, the girls confessed. It wasn't just him, one girl added. He sent us to Marco, too. The villagers erupted in fury. They have ruined our daughters. That night, armed with torches, the villagers stormed Dami's house. But Marco had overheard their plan and ran to warn him. They know.
Marco panted.
We need to leave, now. They packed their bags, slipping toward the village boundary. But Baba, Aani, had anticipated their escape. Guards were waiting. Stop there, a voice commanded. Dami and Marco froze as spears glinted in the moonlight. Going somewhere? Before they could react, their hands were tied, and they were dragged back to the village square. Baba, Aani stood before them. You thought you could harm our daughters and run? The punishment was swift. Lashes rained down upon their backs, their screams echoing through the night. But it wasn't over.